Right now, there's this quiet battle happening for the future of our planet. It's the straight line versus the circle, a conflict that actually plays out every single time we get a new phone, a new laptop, any new piece of tech.
So let me ask you, what happens to your old phone when you upgrade? Or that old laptop that's just a bit too slow to use anymore? If you're like most of us, I bet it ends up in a drawer or maybe a closet, just kind of forgotten. It becomes what we call e-waste in the making.
But here's the thing. When you multiply that one drawer by millions and millions of us, well, it scales up a lot. In 2019 alone, the world generated 53.6 million metric tons of electronic waste. To put that in perspective, that's heavier than all the commercial airplanes ever built. It is a staggering amount, and it just shows you the sheer scale of the problem we're facing.
So where does all this waste actually come from? I mean, it's not just about us and our drawers full of gadgets. It's a direct result of the system we're all a part of. A system that's basically a one-way treadmill, heading from the factory straight to the landfill.
And this is it. This is the linear economy. Just notice the straight line. It starts by taking resources from the earth, moves through making things and using them, and it ends in one place. Waste. There's no loop back. The system is literally designed to lose materials, with no real reason for companies to think about what happens at the end of a product's life.
At its core, the linear economy is built on a really simple take, make, waste model. We dig up raw materials, we manufacture products, and then, when we're done with them, they become trash. It's the system that has fueled a lot of growth for sure, but it's come at a huge cost to our planet.
But here's what's really terrifying, what's actually inside our e-waste. We're not just talking about plastic and metal. It's a toxic cocktail of hazardous materials. I mean, heavy metals like mercury and lead, and really dangerous chemicals like arsenic. This is stuff you absolutely do not want seeping into our soil and our water.
And look, this isn't some abstract, far-off environmental problem. There is an immediate human cost. When e-waste is handled improperly, it poses a direct danger to the people who handle our trash, from janitors in schools to our sanitation workers. This toxic treadmill has real-world casualties.
Okay, so that's the problem. But what if we could get off this treadmill for good? What if we could design a system that doesn't just end in a giant pile of waste? Well, that's the whole idea behind the alternative, closing the loop.
When you put them side by side like this, the difference is it's night and day. Instead of take, make, waste, the circular model is all about repair, reuse, recycle. It's a total fundamental shift in thinking, moving away from just throwing things out and towards recovery and regeneration.
Now look at this. In the ideal circular system, something's missing, right? There's no single endpoint that says landfill. Instead, all you see are loops. Materials are designed from the get-go to be returned, repaired, and recycled, constantly flowing back into the system instead of leaking out as waste.
A circular economy completely changes the game by design. It creates reasons for producers to make things that can be easily taken apart and repurposed. In this model, the materials in your old phone, they aren't waste. They're valuable resources for the next generation of products.
The whole system really works through two main cycles. First, you have the biological cycle. This is for things that can safely biodegrade and go back to the earth. Think compost. Then you have the technical cycle. This is for all our human-made stuff, the plastics, the metals, the components in our electronics, designed to be endlessly cycled within our industrial systems over and over again.
This all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually make it happen, right? Well, the good news is people are already putting these ideas into practice in some really tangible ways.
For example, here's a practical roadmap for organizing a school e-waste drive. It shows how communities can take direct action to pull all those valuable materials out of the path to the landfill and get them back into that technical cycle. It's all about creating local collection points that can feed into that larger circular system.
And it's not just about collection. Education is absolutely key. Programs like Shikaru Sati are teaching students about e-waste by letting them actually get their hands dirty. By taking electronics apart, they learn firsthand what's inside, how they're built, and how different parts can be reused. It totally demystifies the technology we use every day. This idea of a product autopsy, it's so powerful because this kind of hands-on dismantling is way more than just a fun activity. It's a form of investigation. It helps us understand the design choices that make a product easy or impossible to recycle, and it shows us exactly where the system needs to change.
So this brings us to the most important part, This isn't just about big companies or governments changing their ways. The circular economy needs every single one of us to participate. It redefines our role from just being a passive consumer to something way more active.
I really love this quote because it's so empowering. It completely reframes your perspective. Every choice we make, every product we decide to repair instead of replace, is an act of design. It's helping to shape the kind of world we want to live in.
We can all become citizen designers by demanding products that are built to last, by supporting companies that offer repairs, and by responsibly recycling what we can't reuse. We send these powerful signals to the market. We are literally designing a more circular economy with our actions.
So, the next time you look at that old phone in your drawer, don't see it as waste. See it as potential. It has a future life, whether it's repaired, reused, or as a source of valuable materials for something new. The only question is, what future will you choose for it?